Hello, everybody. Welcome to Code Breakers Live. It is a beautiful Sunday. I'm very excited about the cold weather. It's cooling down, and I just was not tolerating summer very much anymore. I was so tired of it, so I'm so glad. I've been looking at the comments while we were waiting to go on, and I'm um, so glad to see all of you back here today. We had a great broadcast with Walter last week, and it ended up being so informative, didn't it? Walter Blagage, what a blessing. That was just a great broadcast. So today I'm going to concentrate a lot on Nigeria because my dad, I went and looked up Nigeria. I don't know why I hadn't thought to do this, but I went to look up Nigeria in the prophecy database and two dates came up. The first one was April 9th, 2011, and the second one was in May 17th of 2014. So Lou and I this morning pulled those up and checked them out, and we've got them to show for you. Um, but I just want to say hi to everybody. I'm seeing you're putting where you're watching from, and I love to see that Illinois and Florida and Missouri and Texas, Memphis. You're not far from me in Memphis. Um, Thank you so much, Larry, for the super chat. God bless Nigeria. That's right. We're about to see some great prophecy um, for Nigeria. Kent, Washington. Kent. Now, my cousin lives in Kent in England. I didn't know there was a Kent, Washington. Italy. Welcome from Italy. There's a Kent, New Zealand? Well, I know that when well, that's all coming from the original Kent in England, and then when they moved to America, they would have made a Kent, or in New Zealand, they would have made a Kent with the colonization. Cincinnati, Ohio, Colorado. I am going to Colorado in 2 weeks, you guys. 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be in Colorado, and there's a church there that my dad used to go to. Um, and the pastor's there. And when I was a little kid, and I'm going back there, and it's just, I was supposed to go last year, and I got kidney stones and had to cancel. The only time I've ever had kidney stones, it's never happened before and never happened again. So the devil was trying to stop me. And so we're trying again. So in 2 weeks from today, I will be there. And I think we're going to be broadcasting live that day from Colorado for this broadcast for Code Breakers Live. California, West Virginia, Corinne, West Virginia, Waterford, Michigan, Knoxville, Tennessee, also not far from me, San Antonio, Texas, Flagstaff, Arizona, Jordan, Utah, Western North Carolina mountains. What a dream. What a dream. San Diego, Carson City, Nevada. I saw Pennsylvania just passed. Manchester, England, Canada, North Dakota, Nigeria. From Nigeria? Jacqueline, you need to pay attention to the comments from that person today, because if you are in Nigeria, we have stuff to share with you today for sure. Youngstown, Ohio, Franklin, Tennessee. Oh, very close to me. Topeka, Kansas. Um, South Texas, Oregon, New York, Florida, Alabama. It's going so fast. Alabama, South Dakota, SoCal, Delaware, Indiana. I used to live in SoCal. Colorado, new listener. Cindy Lou, welcome. Welcome today. And that is just YouTube I was looking at. I'm trying to hop over here. My eyes aren't so good, but I see you guys over there in Rumble. And what about the House of Destiny chat? Let's have a look there. New Jersey, I see you there, Maria. Missouri. And we also have our X people are back watching from X, Winifred and Janelle. Karen Williams is in Texas, more Colorado, more Oregon, Iowa, more Texas, North Carolina. This is Rumble now. Paramount, California. Another England. Okay, great. All right, I could do that all day. I just like to see where people are watching from, and that's so cool that we have someone from Nigeria today, because I have been freaking out seeing the footage coming in from Nigeria of Christians being slaughtered. And so when I saw Donald Trump's post, um, and that's why we called it Guns Ablaze in the show today, because that's what he wrote in his post, warning the Nigerians, we're going to be coming in guns ablazing if you don't get your situation under control. And of course, the Nigerian, I guess it's the government, they're trying to say, oh, there's nothing going on. And then what I did earlier was I went through and I just went on Google and I typed in Nigeria Christian genocide. And all of these articles came up from like Al Jazeera and things and Politico. And they're like, oh, it's nothing. And it's like Trump is claiming. And you know what? It's like, how many videos do you have to see? I saw people trying to say, oh, that's old footage. And it is not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. What is happening in Nigeria is really happening. Any news source, any news source that's telling you it's not true? Okay, Amika, welcome, Amika. Thank you for joining us today. What are you seeing in Nigeria, Amika? If you could put it in the chat, we'd love to hear from you. Um, um, because we really we care that it's not acceptable. I mean, I've never been to Nigeria. I'm from South Africa, so I'm familiar with Africa, being a South African, but I've not been to Nigeria. I've met Nigerians, and I've known some Nigerians in my life, but the footage that we're seeing, I even saw the satellite image. I might have that on my X page when I pull that up. Is from the satellites from space can see the blood stains on the ground, and so I couldn't stand it. I'm wondering if we should go to my X page, Lou. Let's go there first, and then we'll play the prophecies. We've got 2 prophecies to play for you. So let's scroll here. I should have actually scrolled to the bottom. Did he? Now, Rodney Howard Brown was a friend of my dad's a long, 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 long time ago when they were both in South Africa under my Uncle Fred Roberts. And so I have a lot to show you here. So I'm actually glad we just came right into here, because I just started sharing on X. I just was not okay. And the thing is, you see the stuff and you feel, I've got to do something. I've got to do something. What am I going to do? There's nothing I can do. I'm stuck here in Tennessee. What do I do? Do I go to Nigeria? I can't go to Nigeria. I'll get killed. Yeah, I think anybody who doesn't think it's happening, but there's, you know what? I think it's pretty undeniable now. You'll have the Trump hater people that are automatically just going to be like, oh, because Trump said, we're going to go against what Trump said. Like it's a Judgment syndrome that. I'm just hoping. I have to go pretty far back here. I'm just going to keep scrolling. Sorry, you guys. I don't mean to make you dizzy. I should have done this before. Did you guys see the Eric Trump interview? I hope you guys saw it. If you didn't see it, it's up. That was a great interview. It really was so good. I was so grateful to Eric for coming up. This is the one I wanted to show you. You see, I posted, this is really bad. I can't just do nothing. The other day, the word is that this family was killed after this. And I'm going to. No, you want to look away. And not look away because it's too hard to see. Feel helpless. So you can't pray. We believe that God can intervene for his people and not you. That's his people. That's not expected. It's not acceptable. Not anywhere for something like that to happen. And I don't want to hear people going on about genocide in Gaza. And I know there's people, plenty of families suffering there too. But you know what the common theme here is? It's extremist jihadi Muslims. That is the common theme across the globe. Wherever there is a slaughter and bloodshed happening, wherever there are bombs going off, wherever there is political craziness, wherever there are wars, you go back to that place of extremist Islam. And I say extremist because I know that there's a huge amount of people who are Muslim in the world, and growing up post well, I wasn't growing up, I was an adult by the time 9/11 happened, but I experienced post 9/11 where it was like you're not allowed to say uh anything because there's innocent Muslim people who might get harmed. Well, right now we're looking at what's the number? Have we heard back from our friend in Nigeria? What is the number? Because I'm hearing big numbers coming out of Africa, of the amount of Christians that are being slaughtered. Um, we have to be able to say, why is this happening? And again and again and again, you have this same issue, and it's coming from Islam, which is supposed to be the religion of peace, but I don't see any peace. I don't see any peace. Okay, so when my dad in 1996 prophesied 9/11, he saw what the enemy would be. And we are not fighting flesh and blood, but principalities and powers. So there is a spirit that grips and traps, imprisons within Islam that cannot be denied. We have to be able to look at it and say, this is it. Over 50,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria due to violence. That's coming up here, Lou's sharing with me. And persecution since 2009, with some estimates for 2025 alone already exceeding 7,000 deaths. Nigeria has been described as one of the deadliest places in the world to be a Christian. And I did read that this morning. And so, let me just mute this because I'm going back to my X page, Lou. There's some other things I wanted to show you guys as well. So I'm going to go back a little bit further. And then we're going to show you those prophecies. Okay, so that was Tuesday. Okay, we'll go back here. All right, you can put my X page back up there. All right, so if you see here, His Glory actually reposted this, and it is quoting my dad and what he prophesied. I've forgotten the date now. And we covered this on Analysis a couple weeks ago, but God said at the end of October, on the one day that they call Halloween, a very strange occurrence shall take place in this nation, and the people shall be afraid. And then suddenly the mourning shall be turned into dancing. Fear and trembling shall be turned into shouts of praise. The Lord has brought this to pass. No one can stop it. The greatest harvest that America has ever seen is about to begin. Okay, so we see, and this is, I'm just going to diverge a little bit from Nigeria for a second because of that. Now we're watching Three Eye Atlas. It appeared again. I think it's doing some strange things. There was an explosion of light apparently from it, and they are observing it. The people who should be observing it are observing it. And what I believe and have this entire time is not that it's aliens, but that it is it's October 21st of 2005. He prophesied that about Halloween. Okay, so I'm looking, and I think we understand. We're understood here with anybody who's been watching us covering, because my dad prophesied about Three Eye Atlas. I believe. No, I don't want to say he prophesied about Three Eyes. He prophesied a strange thing about being taken into the atmosphere and seeing what he called the formation of a planet, but he wasn't sure what he was seeing. And he saw it connected to the new energy. So for a very long time, decades, my dad prophesied death to debt over America. A death to debt that would come as a result of a new energy. We are living in a day and age when that new energy is needed. to run all the stuff that we do. It's really in demand. Energy is a constant issue, no matter where you are. So, like in South Africa, they've got load shedding and all kinds of stuff that happens because they can't just run electricity. I'm starting to hear rumor of that around certain cities and regions in America, even that being a potential problem. So we need a new energy. We need a way of handling energy. How are we running our machines? How are we running our cars? How are we, all of that. So that's an issue that we are facing, as well as astronomical debt. So God showed my dad in bits and pieces over, since 1996, that's probably 30 years period, that there would be a death to debt. So when you hear that phrase, you think, well, we're not just going to pay our debt, but there's going to be a death to it. And this makes me feel that something will change in our system and the way we do things. I believe that's what he was seeing. And so, because in connection to a new energy, while he was prophesying about a Jesus revolution, which we have seen and are seeing happen amongst the young people, especially after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we see that while he's prophesying that, he sees this happening in the sky, in the atmosphere. It's taken into the atmosphere. I'll play it for you in a second. So, he also saw Halloween. Now, the reason Halloween is interesting is because Three Eye Atlas they were able to observe it again round about Halloween. So we're waiting to hear, since Halloween just happened, we're waiting to hear what have they observed, because this is very interesting to me. I'm just reading your comments quickly, make sure I'm seeing everything everyone's saying here. So that's why that's interesting to me. So we're going to keep watching, because I feel that all of this stuff around Three Eye Atlas could lead to something that could be discovered in connection to a new energy because of how it was prophesied. That's why I believe that. He didn't say Three Eye Atlas, but he did see that, and it was a strange thing for him to see. It was unusual. So whenever there were unusual things, I always pay attention to those things. We still have things woven within these prophecies that are, some of it we're seeing being fulfilled right now, and some of it we're watching. Another prophecy that I watch and listen for is when he saw Meshuggah Lair. He saw that name, and it was so weird. Soon to be exposed. It was connected to hidden things. I think deep state things is probably better. There, I interviewed Eric, and I really want you guys to watch it. If you haven't, it's up. It didn't get very many views on YouTube, which just, I didn't understand that. Why that happened. I'm loving seeing Michael Reagan, who is Ronald Reagan's son, defending Trump, because they in Canada they used it's Meshuggah Lair. S. Reith and Rumble was asking. Look, I don't. Yeah, I know. I just kind of threw that out there, but I don't have it to show you. Maybe I do. But anyway, he prophesied that at one point. He was in the middle of prophesying about terrorism in particular, and terrorist organizations and corruption in leadership. And there's more to it than that. But in the middle of it, he says, Meshuggah Lair is a name I'm hearing. Meshuggah Lair. And I don't even know how to spell it because he didn't write it down. He was saying it. We was saying what he heard. So I just brought that up because that's another one of those strange things that I know it's going to come, and I know it's going to make sense eventually. So I watch it, and you'll see us do that often here, where we like with the Esther prophecy. Is this the Esther? Is this the Esther? None of them are we actually claiming is. We're just saying this is what was prophesied. Does this person fit? And along the way, some people felt like it fit, and some people it didn't. And we're like, this must be the Esther. Oh, wait a minute, is it? No, I don't know. And as of now, Erica Kirk is the best candidate. The only thing that I'm not sure about is the cartels, but you just never know. So we're watching, you see. So some of that goes on with the prophecies, and you need to understand that. JD Vance in this interview here was saying how uh, aliens are actually angels and demons, which I it is. What does it mean? Well, he saw it as it being the name of a person. Ask Josh IC. Does he know what it means? Josh IC. Do you know what it means? Mashugalair. Mashugalair. That's what he said. Mashugalair is a name that I'm hearing. Hidden away, but soon to be exposed, or something is how he said it. Hidden away. Mashugalair, hidden away. It's a name that I'm hearing, he said. I wonder if we have that to show them. We probably do. I know it was recorded. Of course, we're keeping our eye on Putin. Putin is misbehaving. I told you guys. Told you he was gonna. For years. Hey, Josh IC says mashgana is a Yiddish word. Mashgana, though. It can be used as an adjective to describe a person or situation, or as a noun. An adjective. They can't hear you. Okay, something foolish. Also, the by the way, since I'm here in my X page and we're scrolling, I don't want to miss this, but you see the volcanic activity that's happening, and Dad saw about the volcano in the Seasons prophecy, and I've heard a lot about in connection to new energy things that they're discovering, that what happens during a volcano when it explodes, the gases. And of course, Walter explained a lot of that for us last week. So keeping an eye on that, because that was an interesting eruption in the Philippines there that happened. Because there was the volcano erupted, then this happened. And this was a colossal black cloud blasted out of Tall Lake, shaking the ground and turning daylight to darkness. So, yeah, that's a bit. But here we are. So we have this family. I'm not going to keep playing it, but we have to look. We have to see these things that are happening. We're praying for New York, and we're going to be covering a lot on that this coming week on analysis this Wednesday. Christy and I, we're looking at, we haven't exactly decided. We watch the news until the last minute until we decide all of the things we want to talk about. We are watching New York because the election is this week, and Mamdani and that whole situation. Now, he was exposed quite a bit this week when he tried to say his aunt was afraid to wear her hijab after 9/11, so she was too scared to wear it on the train, and he was weeping over this. And then it turned out she wasn't even his aunt. It was like his dad's cousin, and now it's questionable whether she even existed. But you know what? When I saw that, I thought, well, I'm sorry that your aunt had to feel uncomfortable. We don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. But there were thousands of Americans who were very uncomfortable after 9/11, who died on 9/11. We watched them all die badly, having to jump from those buildings as they were burning, or the buildings collapsed on them, and the firefighters and first responders that were trying to get to save people. That to me is much worse than feeling uncomfortable wearing a hijab on the train. I'm sorry. What do you expect people to feel? New Yorkers had just, that's like the worst attack on American soil ever. Thousands. What was it? 3,000 Americans died just there. So I don't want to see Mamdani's crocodile tears. I'm sorry his aunt or cousin or dad's cousin or wherever she was felt uncomfortable. I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, especially innocent people that are caught in the middle of things. But the reason we're bringing this up is because he's a fraud. He sat there weeping and wailing in front of all those people, trying to make out like, oh, the Muslims, they're the victim, and those evil Christians. I'm sick of that narrative. I'm sick of it. It's nonsense. And people need to be brave enough to stand up to that, and they are. People have. People pointed out very quickly, sorry she didn't feel comfortable, but we just watched thousands of Americans die in their own city, in New York City, the World Trade Centers crumbling to the ground. And whether or not people believe that the government was involved or not doesn't matter to me. I know who was flying those planes. And a lot of Saudi Arabians, actually. We can't forget that. But you see, it irritates people because the narrative is moving towards Muslims are always the victim, or we're just the victim. We're the victim. We're the victim. We're the victim. Oh, Gaza, Gaza, Gaza. We're the victim. And it's a tactic. It's actually a war tactic. But anyway, I'm going to let other people tell you because they're going to phrase this better than I will. We see Franklin Graham. Samaritan's Purse, their plane was able to deploy to Jamaica. Because you remember we prayed about that on Tuesday at the prayer meeting. They're sending relief, 38,000 pounds of relief supplies to Jamaica to help them because that storm was bad. I mean, we knew it was going to be, and we knew it was, but it's pretty bad over there. I mean, the airport was flooded, everything was flooded, destroyed, and so we really would just keep praying for the people in Jamaica. That was just funny to me. In 1956, French children attending school were served wine on their lunch breaks. I can't imagine such a thing. Oh my. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Okay. Listen to what this guy says. The Apostle Paul issued this warning to Christians in the book of Galatians. Nearly 600 years later, Islam was founded in the exact manner that he warned against. So here we go. I want you to listen to this. And some of you might have seen it.
So then you start going, where did Islam come from? Actually, you can go a layer deeper. All right, so in Galatians 1, the Apostle Paul warns the Galatians. Remember, the Bible says that Satan will masquerade as an angel of light. The Apostle Paul warns the Galatians in Galatians 1:8. He says, but even if we, or an angel from heaven, should preach a gospel other than the one we preach to you, let them be under God's curse. So Paul is literally telling people, hey, watch out, because there's going to be angels that look like angels of light that come and they reveal false gospels, other demonic religions. Don't listen. It's going to be a curse, okay? Well, then you fast forward to 610 AD, dude named Muhammad wanders into a cave, and guess what he says? He's like, man, it's real weird. I was in his cave, and an angel of light appeared to me and started revealing to me a new path to God. Everybody else got it wrong. It's literally the fulfillment of Galatians 1:8. An angel from heaven preached to him a different gospel, and that angel supposedly revealed to him the message of the Quran. That's exactly the fulfillment of the demonic warning from Galatians 1:8. So then, bro, you fast forward even more. This stuff gets, whenever you're talking eschatology, you're making your best biblically informed guess. So that's what I'm doing right here. It is interesting to me that in Revelation 20, it says there's going to be a whole bunch of Christians, and it doesn't say killed, it says beheaded. There is one religion in the history of the world that has gloried specifically in beheading as this form of execution of infidels in there, and it's Islam. Now I'll do one more. Jesus, in John 16:2, he's talking about the end times, towards the end of history. I'm gonna read you exactly what he says. The time is coming when whoever kills you, talking to his disciples, will think he is offering service to God. Secularism is not the final threat. The final boss that will face Christians before the return of Christ is not atheism, it's not secularism. That says it will be another religion who they think that killing Christians, killing the people of God, is actually a service to their God. And that is exactly what Islam has historically prescribed.
Yep. So like I said before, there's a recurring theme in these things going on all over the world. And again, we don't want any harm to come to any people anywhere. I don't care if you're a Muslim in the Middle East. I don't want harm to come to you. We understand that we battle principalities and powers, and we wish no harm to the human beings. At the same time, when Christians are being massacred, you know what? Forget the Christian part. When anybody is being massacred, especially innocent people, it has to be stopped. It has to be dealt with. It's not okay. It's not okay. And immediately people want to bring up Gaza. That is a different situation. It's not okay. But the struggle that you see in Gaza is because of Hamas. It is because of Islam. And so I'm just here. JD Vance, he reposted Trump's first post about Nigeria. And what Trump said was Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern, but that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered like is happening in Nigeria, and he gives a statistic of 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. So he's saying within Nigeria, 3,100 versus the rest of the world was 4,476. So it shows you how much slaughter and murder is happening in that one region as opposed to the rest of the world. Something must be done. I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Now you can understand why, when my father looked from the past into the future and saw Trump, because he's defending Christians in a time where people just want to, there's such an animosity towards Christians. So any Christian out there who's done something, then all Christians are like that. But Christians are not murdering people all over the world like this. You're not seeing this. That's not what Christians are doing. So then, okay, there it is. Then I'm going to the next one. Oh, by the way, I put here, great job, feminism, because the Woman of the Year on Glamour magazine, there was not a woman in sight.
Hey, Amika says.
Okay, we're getting word from Amika.
That Muslims are being killed too, but it's not true. The Northerners that are these Fulani militia kill are the Hausa tribe, which are partly Muslim and partly Christian.
Can you put that post up for me?
It's on.
Oh, there we go. I see. The government says that Muslims are being killed too, but it's not true. The Northerners that these Fulani militia kill are of Hausa tribe, which are partly Muslim and partly Christian. Okay, so if you're in Africa, there are tribes that have been there a very long time. And I know this, being from South Africa, there were numerous tribes that were, they've been there for a long, long time. So what Amika is saying is within those tribes, you have Christians and Muslims. And the government's trying to say, well, Muslims are also being slaughtered because it's not just as simple as there's a Christian tribe and a Muslim. It's not that simple. So the government is able to then sort of twist things around and say, well, Muslims are also being killed because it's more tribal, or between the two parties, there's the two parties. But that's not what the videos are showing us. That's not what we're seeing in those videos. And that Amika just confirmed that. Thank you so much, Amika, for sharing with us. If you want to write to us, if you want to write to us, we would love to hear more from you. You can email me, codebreakers@houseofdestiny.org. My sister and I both get those emails. If you want to write to us more, we would love to hear from you because we really want to help. I mean, if all we can do is pray, then that's all we can do. But if there's anything, if we can help people to understand more about what's happening there, that would be better. Because when I went through the news today, Al Jazeera and Politico and people like that, they were trying to say, "Oh no, that's not really what's going on." But I believe that it is. Here's more. Here's a Nigerian pastor. President Trump has directed members of Congress, right? We just saw that. Please tell Trump to save our lives. This is the Nigerian pastor. So I mean, I don't.
Only and deny. There is no more burial every day, and they expect us to silence. Now it's an order. Nigerian government came out openly and denied. There is no massacre. There is no genocide
But
of
here he stands
Christians
with the
in
bodies next to
Nigeria.
him.
And look at it today.
Each and every one of those, a soul, a human being,
Is
alive,
there any Muslim here?
a Christian. Don't
United
think God
Nations,
is.
I know you're watching me. American Senate, you are watching what I'm doing. I'm saying here. Special advisor to Trump. Now,
Yes.
please tell Trump to save our life in Nigeria. They are killing Christians in Nigeria. Massacre Christians. If they say they kill Muslims, Muslims are being killed. By who? By Muslims.
Whew, I don't think he's lying. I don't think this is a big pretend. And there's video. There's video after video after video. Okay, we're gonna take a break. Little break, little timeline break, because that gets intense. I'll show you this bear. So a black bear broke into the Bass Pro Shop. Has all-you-can-eat buffet. Overnight security footage shows the black bear breaking into a Bass Pro Shop and raiding the live fish tanks, eating nearly every fish in sight. After his feast, the bear wandered into the hunting section and passed out in a pile of duck decoys. By morning, employees found him snoring like he owned the place. Online, he's already been called the Bass Pro's new mascot. And I love him. Look at him eating those fish. Oh my gosh. That's cute. I'm seeing they're saying it's an AI generated story, maybe. Well, even if it is, it's so cute. At this point, I mean, the frustration I have, especially with the animal videos and AI.
Honestly, I don't care.
And I don't care either because
As long as they tell me this is AI, I'm fine.
even if they don't tell you, it's whatever. Okay, here we go back. I know we're kind of going back and forth a little bit. Glamour magazine dropped their Woman of the Year issue, but there's no woman in sight. The new misogyny. What have I been? I've been saying this for those of you who've been watching a while. You know, I keep saying like, "What's up with the feminists?" Now you've taken it so far. Like it was a good thing. Women could vote and work, and you know that was a necessary thing to happen. So that's when it was good. But then they've taken it too far to where now it's like, well, the only way you can truly be a woman is if you're a man. So, oh my gosh, it's too much. It's too much. And it's the devil, you guys. I don't know if you saw this revival breaking out in Baton Rouge. That's so nice. Jesus Revolution. Everywhere. So good. It's still the same post. I want to show you. Yeah, there's Glenn Beck thanking President Trump. Okay, Sudan's the other place this is happening. 460 massacred in a maternity hospital. 2,000 executed earlier this week. 460,000 people trapped. So it's not only happening in Nigeria, it's also happening in Sudan. And I forgot to mention that earlier, but it's in Sudan as well. So we're seeing this happening across Africa. We really have to pray. Keep praying. We have been praying, but we're going to keep praying. Notice the Islamic Halloween terror plot was stopped by the FBI this weekend. There was a plot. I've forgotten what the details are. Let's have a look at the video. هذا الFBI عندنا مذكرة كل السكان في 78 14 They were planning a terror attack. FBI stopped them, but notice where.
Oh, there they go. There they go. Blowing it up. Blowing it up.
Notice where they are. They're in Dearborn, Michigan. My dad, 1996, prophesied 9/11 from Dearborn, Michigan. And again, we see what is happening there. So spiritually, we got to look at that and understand this is when you're talking about territory. That's why it's important. Boots on the ground was important to my dad. It's important to be in the flesh somewhere, praying, because regional spiritual activity, and in Dearborn, Michigan, it's really bad. But it was a potential terror attack, and the Muslim mayor was telling Christians. Remember, he was telling Christians they weren't welcome there. So it's so interesting to me that my dad saw 9/11 and the Beast of the East and the things that he saw in that prophecy from 1996, and he was in Dearborn, Michigan. Here, this articulates exactly what we were just saying, Jacqueline. I hate that AI has now caused me to question the authenticity of cute animal videos online now, which is my primary use of social media. I don't even know if this baby penguin actually wore a beret to go buy a tiny baguette in Paris. Well put. Oh my gosh. Here's more. Nigerian government better move fast. Okay, so here's the post, and we made it the thumbnail today for our broadcast for this. And this is what Trump said. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attacked our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. They better take it seriously, because I'm about to show you Pete Hegseth praying. There's that post again. Pete Hegseth says the military is actively preparing to kill Islamists who are exterminating Christians in Nigeria following President Trump's directive. So I'm going to come back to this on the cartels if I have time. Oh, here we go. Here's some footage of the aftermath of the hurricane in Jamaica. Samaritan's Purse with Franklin Graham. They are sending aid right now, but it is difficult even to get there. Remember, this is an island, and the airports were flooded. People couldn't leave. It was pretty bad, that storm.
Although I have to say, it was really amusing watching the videos of the Jamaicans' reactions to it.
I know Jacqueline apparently said the Jamaicans weren't too enthusiastic about the tourists who were trapped there and complaining. Here's more. Look at this. Hang on, let's go big. Wow. Oh, Lord Jesus, please help them. And show us how to help them. Because, you want to help, but you want to make sure that it's actually going to help, that you're not just going to cause trouble, This is what I was going to show you. Pete Hegseth. So the U.S. Department of War dropped this video warning Muslim terror groups in Nigeria who are ethnic cleansing Christians. Okay, so let's have a look at this.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom
the power
and the power
and the glory
and the glory
forever
forever and ever.
and ever.
Amen.
Amen. Whew. Powerful that.
Our Father, who
He's
art in
praying as
heaven,
Christ instructed us to pray.
hallowed be thy name.
He's the head of the world.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be
These
done
people are about to find out.
on earth as it is in
Not
heaven.
to get away with this.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Christians are no
And
longer
forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
It's not okay.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver
And I
us
know that we have
from
God on our
evil.
side, and He's not going to stand for it. And I will not look away. This was a response. Nigeria stands firmly as a democracy governed by constitutional guarantees of religious liberty. But this is all words. You can say whatever you want to. I don't know who that is, but that's words. You guys remember when things besides politics and identity existed pre-2015? Yes. Okay, so General Flynn also had some to say about Nigeria. For those Americans who think this madness only exists over there in some third world place and it will never come to America, you are wrong. Listen to Laura Logan's video below. Many American servicemen have sacrificed their lives for our country to help these people out of their misery, especially young girls and women. If we don't snap out of our self-complacency and apathy, the Islamic fascist mindset will rapidly creep into America and its allied axis of resistance, or otherwise called an unholy alliance. Complete with direct ties to communist China and other subversive communist elements, will suddenly emerge as our masters. Courage is a decision. Make the decision to be courageous and get involved as citizens in your communities. These are not racist words, which I'll be accused of. These are words of someone who has deeply studied and stood and fought the enemies of America overseas for many years, only to find out the greatest enemy I would face was right here at home. The truth hurts, but it's high time we start being brutally honest as a nation and as Americans. As MLK Jr. stated, the God whom we worship is not weak and incompetent God. He is able to beat back gigantic waves of opposition and to bring low, prodigious mountains of evil. The ringing testimony of the Christian faith is that God is able. Americans need to regain the moral high ground. America first. Great, General Flynn. Now, this is a 37-minute long video, but this is actually not what I thought it was. But you know what? If you follow me on X, or if you can
have been
find
slaughtered
wherever you're
and
watching
their bellies slit open and the babies also butchered in their bellies.
It's really brutal.
Who did they speak against? What truth did they reveal? Who did they incite?
Kim carries their stories as a shield, warrior and wordsmith in a war of ideas, where the ideology of extremists would be written out of the headlines and the history books, were it not for people like him. Here in the killing fields of Christians, he's witnessed the rising body count in one village after another that binds the Islamic terrorists of Boko Haram to other Muslim jihadists, like the nomadic herdsmen of Nigeria's Fulani tribe.
Yes, that's right. Okay. So I can't. Yeah, there's too much. And I'm not really wanting to show too much. There was something she said in the beginning of this video, but I don't know where it is, where she articulated it very well. Anyway, go and watch this because I can't play it on YouTube. So if you follow me, just look for this post by General Flynn, or if you follow General Flynn, you'll see it. He shared. But Laura Logan said in the post, President Trump's decision to designate Nigeria a country of particular concern is monumental. My film below from 2021 shows why, documenting the genocide of Christians that the world never saw because the truth has been hidden from them. So I encourage you to go and watch that. I have not the whole thing yet. the part that I saw, I guess because it's a long video, because I was scrolling, she was speaking about it, but very good. Amanda Grace, for if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Esther 4:14. And then Elon Musk says quantum computing is best done in the permanently shadowed craters on the moon. Oh, here it is. This is the one I was going to show you. This is what I was going to show you. Sorry, I got them confused. Here we go.
They will tell you it is time for us to stop calling Islam a religion. It is not a religion. You can ask any Muslim. You can ask any jihadi. They will tell you it is a civilization. It is a civilization that governs every aspect of your life. And most importantly for us in the US, it is a civilization that is duty-bound according to the Quran to install Sharia law worldwide.
That's the bottom line. And so again, we realize what we're actually dealing with here. This is the first time I ever saw this image was Jordan Peterson was giving a lecture, and it was when, he was, this is many years ago now, and he was talking about the Bible in the lecture, and I watched the whole thing. But at one point, and I've shown this on our broadcast before, so this is the Bible, and how many cross references there are, so how many things are connected to other things. There are 340,000 cross references spanning thousands of years and dozens of authors all telling the same story. So you see how many times? 340,000 times. And so that's on a graph showing you how many connections there are in the Bible, which is really amazing. You can't do that with any other book. Here, listen to this.
Love the world and you want to see a better world. Your interest is not just free Palestine. I mean, there are more people dying in Nigeria than are dying in Palestine. I can tell you that last year alone, over 500,000 Christians were killed in Nigeria just in 1 year. And nobody's protesting. The activists are not saying anything. For me, that's hypocrisy. In the north of Nigeria, Christians are being killed daily because the Islamic militants don't want Christians to exist in the north of Nigeria. They want to see a world where there are no Christians at all. And they want to conquer not just Nigeria, they want to conquer Africa, they want to conquer Europe, and they want to conquer America. The younger generation who want to live in a better world must speak out today.
Yes.
And I'm calling on all advocates of a free world to
very, very just shocking what is happening. Today's presidential announcement was intense. How should Christians view it? This was pretty good, but I don't want to run out of time without showing you these prophecies. So let's go. Lou, I want to play the first one. So I went and looked up Nigeria in the prophecy database. And you can go and look at that prophecy database whenever you want to. If you go to kimclement.com, go to the About Us section, and you'll see prophecy database. Click that, and you'll see keyword, a place to put a keyword search. So today I went in there, I put Nigeria, and it pulled up the dates that he prophesied about Nigeria. We have that because I'm trying to remember how far back it goes. Probably the 9/11 prophecy. The people around him started to, especially the Mihai family, started to transcribe everything he prophesied. And so they would transcribe it and put it in the prophecy database for years. And so while my dad was, this was when my dad was alive, I was a kid, they gathered transcriptions of these prophecies. And I remember it's the 90s, so there wasn't everybody with a smartphone and video and everything. And so we have this database. So I put in Nigeria this morning and 2 dates came up. Lou has approached.
Well, when I cut this together to put it, it was very interesting because you were trying to look for it and you couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it. And it was at the end.
And I was like, you know what, let me look. But I was listening to bits and pieces of the whole thing. And the whole broadcast of that day, your dad was basically bringing people into worship, and he was talking about how God is there for them and everything. Then they went into code breakers and they were breaking down prophecies and stuff. And your dad was ending the show. And he was like, all right, we're gonna finish. And then he just put his hands on the keyboard and he went, wait. And he said, I want my team back. Now I just cut that little bit out. That's why I'm telling you.
Yes.
Because I had to I just wanted to get the because it's 3 minutes. So he's like, bring the team back. And then that's what he just started. It was like the very last thing. And normally when your dad does something like that, remember the last time when he saw something just after the offering.
Yes.
And it was just like, it's like.
Oh, you're talking about I See a King Falling. I See a King. And that was also in April.
Yes.
That was April.
And it just
first
happened
or second.
out of the blue. It's like and he wasn't focusing on Nigeria. He wasn't anything.
Right.
So
I kept scanning through the broadcast. Like, did we get the
Nigeria.
date wrong on the?
Yeah, it had nothing to do.
But we
with
didn't.
It. They were focused on a whole different thing.
That's very significant.
So that's what's important about this.
Okay. Well,
When the media reports a death of 50 persons, be sure that over 200 persons died in that.
They can't hear you. If you're going to talk, you need to come up here. Because you keep talking and nobody can hear you, so I'm just sitting here looking.
Look at the comment. Amika, go up a little bit, and you'll see Amika.
Okay, hold on, you guys. I do want to see what Amika has to say.
Yeah, it's a he. It's a guy.
I don't see it. Maybe Lou can just pull that up for me at the bottom.
Yes, okay.
Or maybe you can do that so I can see it here, because I'm not going to be able to find that. Otherwise, everyone's going to be sitting watching me. Okay, Lou, go ahead and play. Okay, so this is April 9th, 2011, Nigeria.
I sense something about Nigeria right now. Nigeria, you need to pray. Nigeria, pray. Pray, pray. There is deep darkness that is wanting to emerge. A deep darkness that wants to come and control the children of light. There is a fear for corruption. Nigeria, pray. For the enemy is looking at you right now saying, what they decide will either allow me to do this great wickedness or stop me. I command your power to be broken right now. The power of what? The powers of darkness that would try and put fear into the masses. Nigeria!
Oh.
God has great plans for you.
Yes.
Great plans for you. But it is still in your hands to decide. For the light of Christ wants to shine and bring destruction, yes, destruction, to the opposing forces of hell. They will try and say, we will outlaw certain Christian values. Pray that what may emerge may be a prince of light.
Yes.
A prince of righteousness. All of my warriors, pray with me now. This will affect things that will happen in Africa, in Northern Africa, in the Middle East. Father, we pray that you would have your way.
I pray that you would have your way and let the Prince of Light arise. We in America, we warriors from all over the world, stand together and pray that you would have your way in Africa.
Yes.
And we give you praise and thanks for it, Lord. Amen.
Amika.
It just came to me.
Amika, you were supposed to see this today. You carry now the word. That was, whew, that was powerful. Amika, God wanted you to see this today. You, anybody else watching from Nigeria, you need to see it because that word is in you now. That is a promise there's power in that for your people. You carry it in you because you know, because you heard that. That promise given all the way back 2011. How many years ago is that now? Can we do math, people? Okay, 10 years in 2021. It's 14 years ago. Sorry for us over here not able to do math, Amika. But God wanted you to see that today. He wanted all of us to see it. We all need to know that's very important. But you are in the territory. You are on the soil. Now take it. If you can take that on your phone and just hold it up outside and play that word. And this next one we're going to play you. That's what you're supposed to do with these words. Because my dad started the boots on the ground. That's why he did that. He went to Ukraine. He put his boots on the ground in Ukraine and he started praying. There's something about the being on the soil. You know, all of us, most of us here today, we're not there. We're having to find out what is true, what is not true. But that came out of time. So God's not confined by time. 14 years to God is nothing. And with my dad, he was just obedient. He just gave it when he was supposed to give it. There is significance. There is significance to the date, I believe. So we must remember the dates. It was April 9th of 2011. April 9th is my husband's birthday. 2011, 14 years ago. I don't know about the time, but I know that those things are important. And we pray, God, we pray that you reveal these things to us. And everybody, Amika and anybody else, I see there's other people from Nigeria. God wanted you to hear that word. Now, prophesy it into the atmosphere wherever you are. Go outside and play my dad on your phone or just repeat what was promised and pray because there's power in that, more power than any weapon that the military can bring. The power is in what you carry in you now because you heard that word. It is a gift for you and your people and your country. And we stand with you, our brothers and sisters in Christ. We may be on the other part of the world. We may be living a whole different life. It doesn't matter. We belong to him together. And that makes us brothers and sisters. And we stand with you today. We stand with you. Lou has approached.
Well, I will have that prophecy available on our Facebook page.
Okay, good.
So they can just share that. But when he was ending there, before you shouted her name, he was saying, because he played the piano and then he stops and he goes, phew, that just came to me. Yeah. And then he ended the broadcast. So it's just so powerful, that moment, because he was just taken out of where he was. You could see him just go.
God showed him.
And showed him. All right, we're ready.
And that's what he's done to us today. And Amika is a he.
Sorry, apologies.
Okay, the next date we have is May 17th of 2014. So now it's a little over 3 years later. And let's watch that one. Lou's going to put that on.
Lord, we stand together today. Nigeria, we have brought you before him because God revealed by his Spirit how great darkness would try and come. He even spoke to the people of Nigeria and said, pray, pray. That corruption held its grip. Now they are children. Father, you can do anything. You're a God of the impossible. Would you hear our prayers for Nigeria and for these hundreds of little girls? I pray with my warriors today, expose it, do it, and bring down the force of hell. Here we stand at a grave, not the death of little girls, but the death of terrorism, hatred, religion at its worst. We declare you powerless. Today, Nigeria, be free. And give them their children back. Give Nigeria their children back. I pray in the name of Christ. Come on, give it.
There it is, a promise. Whew. There was my dad. That's how prophetic my dad was. That was 11 years ago. There he was praying. God showed him this moment. And the thing is, God showed him. And we have to remember this about prophecy. My dad was great. But God did that. My dad had no way of knowing when, what, all of these things. He was just completely open, and God spoke through him. That's what it means to be the voice of God. We want to be his voice. And that's what we're going to need to do in this time. Because these people aren't killing other grown men in combat like in war. And it's not even where children are killed, just because they're in the wrong place. But they're targeted. They're targeting the children. I mean, who can do this to the children? Who can harm a child? I don't understand it. I can't bring myself to a place in my mind to think, who is doing this? Because it's the devil doing this. And through people that have been deceived. And like we heard that guy say a little while ago, I mean, the Bible was pretty specific there. That they would kill and then thinking they're doing the right thing. I don't understand how you could, but that is what's happening. Oh, woof, that was powerful, you guys. Very powerful. I'm so glad I looked it up. I can't believe I didn't look it up before.
What is so powerful about that is that there were 2 prophecies.
Yes.
Out of the whole database.
Only 2.
Only 2.
And that's why I didn't really remember. I didn't even think.
And what he said in both of those, it's just phenomenal. I'm sorry. And so
Where's Amika? Is Amika okay over there?
We're going to stand in agreement
okay,
and
Amika?
pray with everybody.
What a day. You tuned into this broadcast not knowing you'd be. What have we done to you? Listen, you're the one God chose to see this today. We're far away. For us to get to you to do something, it's almost impossible. But you're there, so God can use you if you're willing. And even if it's just to pray, just play that prophecy. To hold I'm holding my hand up like this because I'm and whoever else is here that needs to hear that. But especially if you are on the soil, play that word. Play it into the atmosphere of your country from the soil. It's so important to me right now that that's done. I think, territorial maybe. I don't know what it is. Jacqueline, you got
about the territory. Dad used to do that all the time.
No, he did.
Yeah.
He definitely did. We should do a little study on that again and go back and look at it again. It's just my mind's not as fresh as it used to be. I want to show you guys this.
You might
Actually,
want to do it so close.
No, I'm going to stand up. Or maybe you can just stand up. You stand up and hold it. Move. This is the new Jesus my husband did. Now make sure it's
I know it's not. It's kind of
not reflected.
Yeah, it's hard to do with all the light.
Lean it forward a little. Okay, now pull the next one. Okay, so that's the most recent Jesus my husband has done. And this is the size. We're doing this because I want you to see how big it is, because that way you can see the size. There's the lion. You know what God showed me about the lion? This is the Lion of Judah. So his theme is Jesus. And then the next one is the original one that he did earlier this year. And so I just wanted you guys to see that, because we're getting more inquiries about it. You cannot get this through this ministry. It's got nothing to do with it. It's not the ministry. It's my husband. I'm just informing you, because so many of you contact me through here. If you want one of these, he doesn't have a website. He doesn't have a store. You have to email him. It's very exclusive, but I wanted you to see these because a lot of people are asking about the size. So we just figured, let you see how big it actually is. And then go back to the new
size comparison.
Yes, so you can see how big it is. It is a print of the original, and all you have to do to get one is email my husband. His email address is at the bottom of the screen, and he works with people on price as well. So I can tell you it costs him about $45 to make and ship them each. But just email him and tell him you want one, and he will show you. There you go.
There you go.
There's it. Well, he wanted to show how big it was, because that's been a question people are. How big is it? What size is it? So that's the size. So I know Christmas is coming, and a lot of people were also saying, I want to get for someone for Christmas. And I think that would be a really great thing to give people at Christmas time, is a picture of Jesus, and that is a beautiful images he's creating. Oh, someone in Rumble there, GLH76. I received my lines. So excited to get them framed. One is for my son's family for Christmas. Beautiful. We love to hear that. That's the goal. We're getting Jesus into as many houses as possible. And it's just so beautiful. This new one too. I just love it. He has such an interesting perspective. Okay, there. I see Amika. Are we saying your name right? I hope we are. When the media reports a death of 50 persons, be sure that over 200 people died in that location in Nigeria. The government even go to the extent of calling it farmer-herder clashes. Well, it's easy for them to say that because, oh my gosh. But wasn't that powerful? That was so powerful. Really, I almost want to watch them again. What do we have here? Let me see. Okay. One more. Lou, if I just click this, will it just come up? Do I need you to do it, or can I? Okay. I'm going to do it. So here, I was talking about this earlier, so I wanted you to hear this as well before we run out of time today. And I know I played it for you last week and before, but just listen again. And keep your eye on that 3-eye atlas. We know there's a Jesus revolution happening. So in this broadcast, this is from 2013, he was prophesying a Jesus revolution and what would happen with the young people and how they'd take over the internet and they'd say Jesus is cool. And we're starting to see that happen. And in the middle of seeing that, he sees this.
For the soul of this nation is agitated. Where does our energy come from? Have I not told you? The time is coming, and now is, where it shall be revealed, but how unusual shall it happen. I saw emblems. I saw 2 crowns. I saw 2 crowns, golden crowns, an investment.
Now, what's
I saw 2 big.
Is that he sees the 2 crowns, and you notice when Trump went to Japan this week, they gave him that crown. And so that's very interesting.
Big leaves, and they were blended together. And then something unusual happened. I was taken into the atmosphere, and I saw a formation of a planet. Now, I'm not even sure in my own mind what this means, because I don't know. I'm not that bright. But I saw planets being formed. Planets that were not, that will be. And in their formation, a strange light and an energy. They shall say, there is no such thing as that planet, but it is something that is being formed at this very moment.
Sorry, you guys, but strange light. Okay, that's the thing that they've said about 3i Atlas that they were able to observe the other day, Halloween time. Remember the Halloween prophecy I read to you guys earlier? Okay, so the one thing that they've said about 3i Atlas is when it passed by the sun is the light. It was something about the light on it. I think it's blue, but it was super bright, like brighter than they expected as it passed the sun. It's called perihelion. That's it. Perihelion. And that I guess what will happen when it goes next to the sun. So it was at its closest point to the sun. Some people were worried it was going to break apart. I don't know for sure. I was looking and looking for information, but it's been difficult because the government shut down and NASA's not releasing some pictures. Does anybody have? Yes, Kimberly or Kimberlyn in YouTube. I think he might be talking. I think because look at I'm not going to stutter. He's right before he prophesies this. He's prophesying about the Jesus revolution. He's prophesying about young kids taking over the internet. And then he goes into this and he says, the energy, have I not told you? The time is coming and now is. And then he's taken into the atmosphere and a strange light. See, that's the part I knew I needed to hear this again. It's different when you hear it.
Planet, but it is something that is being formed at this very moment for the purpose of my people. You are that important to me, says the Lord, that I would do something that is not yet and bring from it and fashion that which will make you and your children prosperous. Do you believe that I'm able to do it? Go, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, lift your voice. All over the world, begin to celebrate. It's beginning already, come on. It's beginning already throughout the earth. You're not even seeing it yet, but in the streets of LA, the streets of San Francisco, I'm moving. My light is moving throughout the earth. Another Jesus revolution. Come on.
Wow. 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 What interesting times we live in. Now, someone said also the Malaysians gave a crown as well.
You know what's interesting about the crown that they showed that Trump got? The crown parts look like leaves.
Yes, I was going to say something about that and I forgot to. I noticed that as well. And he said, well, the thing is, I don't want to.
No, we're not. I don't want to. I'm just saying it's interesting how the crown
I'm just careful what I say because I don't want people like the other day we got a comment from someone saying, oh, well, you're just
picking.
But we're not. There's things within this that we've been watching for a decade since my dad died.
We're just looking at things and it's just weird to see some things that he describes actually in reality.
And look, that's what Code Breakers is. It's not me coming and telling you about fulfilled prophecies. It's which I do, but it's us together figuring it out because I can't on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I need you guys and you need me when it comes to these prophecies to do this. So this is the journey we are on together. We're a team. And we're looking at them, and that's why it's so important we hear from you. That's why I do it live with the chat. That's why we have, many ways you can reach us. Email is one way.
Didn't he also say something about with crowns about investment?
In there, yeah.
Yeah. And
he says, I saw 2 crowns, I saw 2 big leaves, and they were blended together, an investment.
Now, what did Trump do when he got there? He got investments.
He's getting investments, yes.
So I'm just thinking of it in my brain.
Tweety Bird in Rumble is saying that he said an investment may be something we are supposed to invest in.
We don't know. We're not gonna.
We're also not trying to get into trouble.
No, we're not saying that. We're not.
We can't tell you what to invest
We're
in.
not saying that. I'm just.
My dad never did that either. He
just
saw
want-
XRP, but it was long before cryptocurrencies
Yeah.
even existed. He didn't know what that even was.
It's just very interesting how your dad
And he didn't see
described.
the R. He saw the X and the P and something in the middle.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, if I have a prophecy where my dad's like, I'm seeing the X and the P, of course I'm going to come and tell you guys. If I look through the prophecy database and I see this about Nigeria, or that's actually pretty full.
Yeah.
That's right on. But 3i Atlas, for instance, we have a question about that. We're not just trying to play with these prophecies and make them fit. We know what is fulfilled. Trump will be a trumpet. He'll serve 2 terms. They'll try to impeach him twice. They'll overturn Roe versus Wade. Like all those kind of prophecies, those are fulfilled. So we can easily say. But there are these things that we've been watching for years, and many of you as well. Don't think I don't know. I read your emails and get your messages. Many of you as well know that there's some things that are not yet fulfilled. And those things are turning out to be really important. I mean, look what happened with Nigeria today. That was pretty specific. And he's addressing the spiritual side of it. So it's coming from an interesting place. The thing is that we don't, but like I said, we don't want to tell you to invest in something, especially if we're not sure. And I cannot tell you. He said investment, but he could mean emotional investment. I don't know. Although he said about prosperous, so I think he does. Look, if you want to do that, that's all you. I don't understand most of the stuff about investing anyway. I barely understand it, let alone do it, you know. So, you like my hair? I threw it in a ponytail. It doesn't behave. You see, it's been raining. I know I am. Okay, you guys. Sorry, my chest. I don't know what's happening. I love you guys. And this has been a little bit scattered today, but very powerful. That was so powerful. I almost just want to play it again because I have felt so strongly about Nigeria. I have a heart for Africa because I'm an African. And I may not look like an African, but I am an African. I was born there. I wasn't born in Nigeria. I was born in South Africa. And that's a whole other kettle of fish. But, you know, our family, it's not like, oh, I was just born there. No, my parents were born there, and my grandparents and my great-grandparents, generations of us, and great-great grandparents. My great-grandmother was a sheep farmer outside of Port Elizabeth and on the west coast of South Africa, and I was born on the east coast where my parents met and married in Durban, which is close to Mozambique. Places like that are you know, that is encroaching upon the many countries in the continent of Africa. I've found out some very disturbing things about Mauritania and slave trade that is still active and happening there. It's just, there are things that God is dealing with now in this moment, in this hour. He's dealing with them. He's shaking and shaking, and what needs to be exposed will be exposed, and what needs to be shaken will be shaken. And one thing we're not tolerating is Christians getting slaughtered, especially not women and children. And we do not tolerate that, not in Africa, not in America, not in Gaza. And the thing is, a great deception has happened, and we blame the Jews, we blame the Jews, we blame the Jews for everything. Oh, well, that is a very awful thing that happens in the middle of this, and it's a spirit that has taken control of these people and imprisoned them. And so, anyway, I know Trump's dance with the Malaysians. Actually, do I have it? We could go out with that. And also, just thank you so much to everybody who supports our ministry. We do need that support. We, you know, we have to keep, you know, our website up, and we have to keep, you know, those of you who are partnering with us, you're helping us pay to digitize the old footage of my dad so that we have more to share with you. So Prophetic Rewind tomorrow, you don't want to miss my dad teaching, and it's just him preaching, and it's just uncut raw footage. But because of our partners, because of those of you partnering with us, we're able to do that. And it really helps. And we as Christians really need to be supporting one another right now, because the Muslims certainly, they support one another. They're taking over whole neighborhoods in Texas. And nobody's flying any helicopters over the imam's house saying how big it is and how that's a problem. And I'm not excusing that behavior on the Christian side either. But what I'm saying is we need to support each other. And so those of you who, if you are fed here, if this helps you, if you can sow into our ministry, it really is needed. We are not enriching ourselves off of this in any way, but we cannot just have these prophecies and sit on it. And so, not very experienced, especially me, I picked those prophecies up when my dad died, and I kept sharing them because it was so important that people knew what was prophesied and how it was coming to pass, and how undoubtedly it is God's will. And so I thank you so much to those of you who do support us. If you want to partner with us, if you're not, it's totally worth it. We've upgraded the prophecy database in there. We have the School of the Prophets. Thank you, Karen, in Rumble. Thank you so much for your gift. And I see someone saying I'm from PE. That's where my dad was from. Actually, Uteneg, but I heard it's not called Uteneg anymore. I could not even pronounce the name that I read on the map. But yeah, Port Elizabeth. It's just outside of Port Elizabeth in Uteneg, where the Volkswagen factory is that my dad worked at. And it is the honor of my life to share these prophecies with you. If I can help anybody, that's just that's all I need. But we do need to be able to pay our very small staff and pay for all the stuff that we have to pay for to keep this running. And it's really not, it's different. It's different than it used to be. Like used to, you'd have a building or you'd rent out a venue. Like my dad, he didn't pastor a church, but he would rent out a venue and then everybody would go there. Now we have the internet. We can do it this way, but there's still cost to it. And so anybody who can help us, you're sowing a seed into something that is producing good fruit. And I it's undeniable to me. And so you can also join the House of Destiny, and don't miss anything we have going on this week. We're going to be looking at New York. We've got Mom Donnie trying to be the mayor over there, and that's just going to be a disaster if that happens. So we have prophecies. My dad in the last year, thank you, Elvin Queen Angel 5778. That's in pounds. Oh, wonderful. Is that pounds or euros? I don't know if that's a pound or a euro. Oh, it's a euro. Okay. Thank you so much for your gift. I thought it was a pound. An Elven Queen would be in England or Ireland or Scotland. I don't know. But I'm grateful to you for helping us because we need it. And also, anybody who gives a gift today or any day, any amount, we want to send you this devotional, all written by my dad. He loved devotionals, and he didn't write it as a devotional. We put this in as a devotional, but he used to send these emails out, and he called it the Daily Light, and he sent it to everybody who worked for the ministry and a lot of other pastors and friends. So everybody was on this email list, and then he would send them out. So we put them together into a devotional, and for a gift of any amount, we will send this to you. Just use the QR code or go to the website and make sure you click the banner when you give your gift to indicate to us that you want it. The other one we have, $25 or more, is this Prophetic Revelations, a collection of letters from the pen of Kim Clement. And this is awesome too. My dad was so talented and anointed with writing, not just writing music and prophesying and speaking, but actually writing. And he would love to do it. He had fountain pens. And
that's a euro.
What's a euro?
$3.49.
Where?
The person you just gave in YouTube.
In YouTube?
Yeah.
I don't see that one in YouTube.
And
thank you for your gift.
She gave €3 and 49.
I don't see it.
No, well,
But you know what? Even if it was there, I wouldn't be able to see it, Jacqueline, because I don't have my glasses. Oh my, too silly. Okay, you guys. I love you. And everybody watching from Nigeria, we are praying for you. We see you, and we are not looking away, and we will not stop praying and believing. God is going to give you a miracle. And right now, we just need them to stop this. But play those prophecies and war in the spirit. If you can do nothing else, you can do that. And we will continue to do that as well. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Everybody who's giving, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And we will be back again tomorrow, Prophetic Rewind. Don't miss it. And also Tuesday prayer meeting, Gathering of the Dangerous. We're going to get together and pray. We're going to be praying for Nigeria this week, 7 p.m. Central, right here, wherever you're watching us. Gathering of the Dangerous. I named it that because of my dad's 9/11 prophecy from Dearborn, Michigan in 1996. He held an event called the Gathering of the Dangerous, and from there he prophesied 9/11 and the beast of the East. And so that is why I named it that, and we will be praying Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. And then Wednesday, Christy and I are going to do analysis, Mom Donnie, mayoral election, New York. And we're probably going to cover a little bit of Nigeria then as well. But we are looking at New York. And my dad, especially in 2015, before he got sick, he went to New York. He stood in front of Trump Towers and prayed for Trump. And this is 2015 summer. It was like June. I don't think Trump had even come down the escalator yet. And he was there in front of Trump Tower praying for him. And then he went to the UN and he prayed in front of the UN. And so we're reviewing that footage because I think there's going to be something in there for us. So we're going to do that. Wednesday, we'll be covering that on analysis, Christy Desfontaine and I. Thursday, Real Life, Real Faith, as well as, is it Real Life, Real Faith this week? We alternate the weeks. They're both. And Perspectives of the Prophetic with Charlie Jordan, who Charlie traveled with my dad. Every time you see a prophecy that my dad gave, Charlie Jordan was behind him, playing the bass guitar and prophesying with him. So anointed. You really want to hear his perspective, and it's a prophetic one. So that'll be Thursday. Friday, Israel Update, Christy Desfontaine and Dubi Saba, who's on the ground in Israel, reporting to us, telling us what's going on, because we don't trust the media, but we trust Dubi. So you can trust Dubi too, and you'll learn a lot there at Israel Update as well. So check that out on Friday. And then Saturdays, we have church with Pastor Fa. You don't want to miss that. That is the pastor my dad chose to be the pastor of the House of Destiny Network. And he is truly anointed and a blessing. He'll also be with us Tuesday to pray. And so that's the week. And then next Sunday, I will be... Oh, we should probably tell them. I may not be able to do this broadcast next Sunday. I might have to do it Monday because I'm going to His Glory to speak for Dave Scarlett at an event there at his ranch. And so I will be in Texas. And then Sunday, I'm going to be driving home. So I can't do the show from the car. So I'm probably just going to do Code Breakers Live on Monday next week, not Sunday. So if you come back here Sunday and you don't see me here, Lou will have something up so that you can see, but I will not be doing a live broadcast until Monday. So look out for that on Monday. So that, next Monday is going to be... we're going to shift it all over there. Okay, so that's what's going to be happening there. Then the following Sunday, I'm going to be in Colorado, and we will be live that Sunday. So don't worry about that. Have I forgotten anything? Yes, the Reawaken Reunion Conference in June 2026. I will be there with Eric Trump and General Michael Flynn and Clay Clark and Roger Stone and all of our friends, Amanda Grace. Robin Bullock's coming, I think.
Yes, he's on the poster.
I'm so excited.
Not this coming Sunday, which we will do for the Monday. The following Sunday, when you're at the church, we will be streaming that live on Code Breakers
from Colorado
that Sunday, and she'll be speaking on the stage, and you guys will be part of it. So join us in 2 weeks.
Yes, so you can join us.
We will be advertising it on our social platforms, so please look out for that.
Okay, thank you, Lou, and thank you everybody for watching. We do love you. We're going to keep praying for Nigeria. Again, come back here Tuesday. We'll pray some more. And we will post those prophecies too, so you guys can just have the prophecy and not have to fast forward through this broadcast. But so important right now, and don't miss analysis as well. Thank you so much to everybody, and we'll see you next time. We have Andrew Sorcini from Beverly Hills Precious Metals with us today. If someone has a 401k, can they take some of that and purchase gold as an investment for their future?
They can, and it's a great way to do it, because if you have an IRA, a government TSP account, a 401k from a company that you used to work at but don't work at anymore, or you still work at the company and you're over 59 and a half, these can be rolled over into a precious metals IRA. And if you were to speak to your financial advisor about it, they'll tell you, oh, this is a taxable event. They'll tell you things like gold and silver are volatile. But really, the thing is, they don't want you to get into precious metals because it doesn't benefit them monetarily. I'm here to tell you that your accounts can be rolled into a precious metals IRA without it being a taxable event. You would own real gold and silver that is stored in a third-party depository that's insured in a lockbox with your name on it.
So if someone goes to bh-pm.com, is that the correct website? Okay, and that's going to be on the bottom of the screen. If they go there today, what do they need to do?
Okay, so there's an online form there, and the form, almost every page on the website has the online form. So you just fill in your first name, last name, email address, telephone number, say that Kim Clement sent you, or the House of Destiny. We'll know what you mean. And in the notes section, be as detailed as you can. Sometimes people put things in there like, I'm a complete novice. I really don't understand precious metals. I've been wanting to understand. I want to invest, but really I need more information first. Then put that in there. If you're someone that's been investing in gold and silver for years and really don't need a consultation, you just want to check prices, then put that in there.
Everybody watching, if you are interested in precious metals, this is where you want to go. Thanks again.
Thank you.